Today's episode is presented by LodeStar, the fee experts.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Lending Leaders. My name is Alayna Gardner. And this week we have our season wrap up of season 4. And as per usual, this year we are joined by Jim Paolino, our CEO and co-founder. And then also we have a real live version of David Spektor, our CTO and co-founder. Last year he was a cardboard cutout in this episode, to be very clear. I wasn't sure if anyone else remembered that, but it was quite a lot.
Happy to be here.
I know we didn't drag you down to Philly for this, Dave. We get a lot of positive feedback on your episodes, so I hope you're ready and bring that good energy.
I'm really keeping these episodes high, like the ratings critic, like the Nielsen ratings.
Yeah,
they're hitting high on the David episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do so well. Well, and on that note, though, I did some research and tried to think of some fun questions to ask you guys. And one of them is, if you could describe our growth plan for 2024 in a movie title, what is it and why?
The first one I thought of was The Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
So we're going to stick with that. Any of the parts, we're going well. I mean, not insane furiously, I guess, but given the market, I feel really good about how we're growing and what we're seeing. The clients we're bringing on, the new company we'll talk about as well. So things are going, fast and furious right now. So that's what I thought of first. So we'll stick with that.
I like it. Dave?
I needed some Google help. I just typed in movies into Google and it just threw a bunch of titles at me. One I'm going with is Bullet Train.
Have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
So good.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good, just name, right? You're going fast, right? I think things are moving. Even though the industry is slow, we're still expanding quickly and doing a lot of things.
Does that mean you're Brad Pitt?
I don't know if we have to sign a specific role to each person, but and there's a lot of mishaps that happen on the train, right? He's constantly like bumping into things and tripping over himself. Awesome. I think that's what we do, right? That's
dangerous situations.
Yeah.
Alayna, did you think of one as you were looking at the question?
That's a great point. I did not think of one, and I don't watch enough movies for this moment to be successful.
Fair enough.
What really hit me hard too was any parent-based names like Old Dads, The Family Plan.
Actually, I do think I have one. What's the movie? Daddy Daycare. That's it. That's what I'm gonna go with right now.
We were saying three men and a baby when we were preparing before and talking about this before you joined, but
yeah, Daddy Daycare is what I'm gonna go with. Is like you kind of start off, everything's a little hectic, and then all of a sudden you have a fantastic business at the end of it.
Do you guys remember watching 40-Year-Old Virgin? And at one point when the character says the 13 and counting, that's not a comedy, that's a horror.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah. So it makes me think of that all the time.
Well, to kind of turn away a little bit from that, speaking of growth, we are currently hiring for a new member of your team, Dave, in the product team. What kind of makes you most excited about bringing this person on? It's been a while since we've added someone to the product side of our organization. So what are you most excited about with that?
We're really growing as an organization in terms of our products and tools and kind of where we're reaching the LOS, the POSs, just integrations in general. And that requires a lot of development, right? But there's also a lot of kind of infrastructural upkeep that needs to keep going on, whether in how code is created and released and managed and communicated, like updates are communicated, or how the servers are just run on like a base level, making sure that the connection works well, if there's any overloads, if we start getting DDoS attacks, that all these processes keeps functioning well without interruption. Because now we have a fairly large client base, right? We can't have issues through road bumps, right? So this person is going to come in and they're going to be a lot more in charge of that. Right now, I've been mostly doing it, and I'm not, an expert at it. I've been doing, I think, an okay job, but there's a lot of places where I think we can really improve, and it might not be obvious for our clients, right? They might not actually see a difference, but I think that's the best, right? When things are improving and running better, but the client doesn't notice, that's really a good sign.
I think it's going to help us support more clients, larger clients, and quite frankly, just free up Dave's time to build more cool stuff. That's the goal.
Building cool stuff. We like
Yeah,
it.
that's the goal.
And speaking of building stuff, we started a title agency this year
Woo-hoo!
in this market.
Yep, exactly.
So Settlewise is the name of the title agency for anyone who hasn't heard it already. But what made this the right decision for LodeStar at this time as you guys kind of were thinking about it?
Well, I have to give Dave credit because he's been in my ear about this for 5 years, I think. He's mentioned for a long time. It's like, hey, we could be in title. We could open a title company. We could open a title company.
I mean, yeah, for all the bad and the good that comes with it. So.
Yeah. So
don't give me
I
too much
think
credit.
it was, so it was certainly not a new idea for us, but I think one, given the market, it's a good time to figure out, what works for us, what doesn't work, get ourselves prepared for when the market does turn around, which it always does and will. And I think we were just looking at ways can we expand, and we do fees well, right? That's our main thing. But what areas, how can we use that as a driver for more products and services for our lenders? And title agent is one, or title space is one that we've always been like super adjacent to. We're quoting title fees. We're getting asked about title agents. We've had title agent work experience between pretty much half the company. So it was just always an area that was like kind of right there. So it allows us to use the quote and use our position in the transaction to, make service faster, better, more tech enabled.
Yeah, and I think it's important to stress that we're not really trying to become like a true, completely standalone title agency in which, all their business comes from requesting client work and working with them. What we want to do is really integrate into our service line and make sure that we can service our clients that are using LodeStar, the calculator, to perform the title services that they need. So it's a streamlined process. We can make it run faster. We can do it with higher support levels. I think that's core to how we see this title company working.
And as LodeStar, we're fortunate to be involved in transactions earlier than most title companies. So we want to use that head start to deliver more value and be, like I said, better, faster, more tech enabled.
And then I'm going to ask one more question, which I didn't prep you guys for, so I'm sorry. But right now, what is the one thing you're most excited about? You can take a moment.
We have a ton of stuff coming out from our product team. A lot of internal tools to make our customer success team work easier and can help clients better, and they can do more things. And I'm really kind of proud and I'm excited for all that type of stuff. Also, lots of our integrations have really been kind of being fleshed out. I think especially our POS side, lots of people are taking advantage of our Encompass mapping because we're kind of becoming a little bit of the warehouse of fees and mapping. We can become the single source of truth for a lender of where they should the fee should map back into their OS, coming from a POS and so forth. And now some of our POS partners are leveraging that information from us. So no longer does a lender have to go to 10 different sources and say, hey, I need to update it here, I need to update it here, update it here. I forgot to update it at this other location, and now the data is inaccurate.
Yeah, I would say just the kind of continuation of what we have going and just seeing it all come together, right? The tools that Dave's team's creating, the integrations, the new partnerships that you're working on, Alayna. I think we're very well positioned, even in this market, and for the market to hopefully improve sooner rather than later, as well as where we're doing and figuring out with the title company and what things that we can do that tie the two together in an interesting way. So we're well positioned. So just seeing kind of like, that all mesh together in a way that I think is going to be unique and really fun to, continue that growth that we've been seeing so far this year.
I think there's also one really big thing that might happen. We can't really talk about, but it could be cool. 2024 might have a big surprise. That might work out or might not. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I mostly know what you're talking about, but we'll see.
I feel like I'm out of a circle right now, but it's okay.
Yeah. No, I think there are a lot of folks. There's not that many companies doing what we're doing, so we're very well positioned that way. And I think that's opening us up to a lot of partnerships now going forward that are going to, position us really well in the industry with a, eventual boom to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both so much for joining us today and taking the time. It's always fun to put Jim in the hot seat and not have him get to be the one asking the questions.
This is so much easier.
Them.
I like it. And Alayna, thank you. I know I was out for a couple of months for people who would have realized it or not. on paternity leave, and you did the heavy lifting yet again on lending leaders. So thank you for your help now in season 4, and and beyond.
Yeah. And so we will be going on a brief hiatus after this. So we'll be back with you all in July with our series that we're going to be running from after July 4th until right before we close out for the summer break. We'll have finalized dates for those. But it's going to be a Settlewise summer. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we built the title agency, what the branding process has looked like. We're bringing on our title operations manager, Shauna, and really just everything that we've been working on behind the scenes for the last year, and just kind of getting to share some of that journey with all of you, which we're very excited about. And
how
then
we make the donuts and what starting a company ends up looking like. I'm really excited for this series. I think it's going to be fun to rehash some of that.
Yeah. And then we'll be back with regular lending leaders. I'll have Jim and Dave back with us as we kick off season 5 of Lending Leaders on September 5th. Is back when we'll be back with regularly scheduled guests and all of that. Yeah. Anything else either of you want to say before we close out here?
Season.
I haven't had anyone reach out to us about the Pantone color of the year still. So if you guys want, I think that we made that at the beginning of the late, right? The first beginning.
I forget about that.
I completely forgot about the Pantone color of the year.
Me too.
Keep your eyes open, guys. That prize is still out there.
Well, Alayna, thank you again for all your help with this podcast. In addition to your normal role at LodeStar as Director of Revenue. So
awesome. Well, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you all soon. And if you're missing Lending Leaders, I promise there's a bunch of old episodes you can listen to. So, cheers.